Hi everyone, Alex here. In this breakdown, we'll explore a track made by Sami Rabia, built using sounds from the Rave Explorations Pigments sound bank. The arrangement blends euphoric keys, uplifting textures, punchy basses, and aggressive leads to create a high-energy, rave-inspired atmosphere. We'll examine a couple of the most interesting sounds, how they were made, and how they support the structure of the track. Before we begin, let's listen to an excerpt of the track. The first part of the track we'll focus on is the intro, where we'll find a couple of interesting sounds that set the tone and energy. Let's start our breakdown with a sound that uses a preset called Brighter World. A quick check first. So this patch is a strongly detuned spacious lead that works well as a key sound, introducing a slightly trancey, nostalgic energy to the track. The note pattern plays a C and an A as 1/8 notes, with a couple of ghost notes in between that enrich the melody and enhance the rhythm. The melody is in C major, as is the whole track. The preset is built around one engine running a sawtooth waveform and a lo-fi filter that adds a bit of crunch and cuts to the top of the high-end spectrum. The big part of its character comes from the strongly detuned unison that is also modulated by the random 3 modulator. The final touches are the delay and parametric EQ in the effects section. Another preset that supports Brighter World is called Full Life. This one is at first a simple pluck whose notes sit between 1 and 2 on the grid, but its tone has quite some depth thanks to the layered engines and unison, detailed oscillators and a bit of shimmer. The pattern is emulating the kick and bass rhythmical relationship found in many trance and rave genres. There are also 2 harmonic layers in the intro that soften the bright energy and the lead and the pluck sounds, coming from the presets Gate Heaven and Play a Game. The more interesting one is Gate Heaven. This is a granular pad with a trance gate effect, great for breakdowns and melodic passages. The gate effect is created by a function generator 1 controlling the volume of the granular engine, which is playing back a female vocal choir sample. As the intro comes to a conclusion, its energy shifts in an interesting way. A patch called Screech Recall comes into play with the same melody as Brighter World, but offers a much darker and more mysterious tone, grabbing attention and moving the track towards higher energy levels. This preset is essentially a wavetable engine with a sawtooth wavetable processed with a super unison mode and a heavy dose of effects. A flanger, multiband compressor, a parametric EQ with one of its peaks being modulated, and a reverb as a send. The difference without and with the effects is quite drastic, and these effects are doing a lot of the sound design work here. Almost Human, on the other hand, provides a static, eerie tone that helps move the arrangement into the next section, while also adding a moodier element to the track. This patch is built with a wavetable engine using a sawtooth waveform, which is then processed through 2 filters that drastically change its tone. The final touch comes from the effects section, where unison, distortion, and multiband compression are added. As the track develops, 2 bass layers grab our attention. Crunch Saw plays an offbeat melody and features a rage filter modulation at the beginning of each note, giving it a bouncy yet gritty feel. Growler Fanboy, meanwhile, brings a more FM-driven digital character to the arrangement. The melodies in the drop are built from 3 patches, one more angelic, one a more sawtooth-like pluck, and one carried over from the intro, all playing back the same sweet, nostalgic melody, offering a great balance between harsher and softer tones. Soon after, the drop transforms into another part of the track. A pattern that helps drive that transition uses a preset called Chase the Bear. This patch plays a simple melody pattern that builds tension. Tonally, it uses the wavetable engine, which uses a lot of unison and wave shaping techniques such as phase modulation and phase transform, giving it its aggressive bite. It is further shaped by 2 filters and multiple effects, including distortion and multiband compression. The patch that goes alongside it, adding tension and a slight feeling of loosening up, is called Fit Start, a rhythmically filtered saw lead with a hypnotic kind of energy. This one is built from 2 sawtooth waveforms shaped by a rage tape filter with very rapid cutoff modulation, then routed into a multiband compressor and spatial effects. Both of these are enhanced by a very energetic acid lead patch called High Voltage that pushes the energy to its highest point. This is a powerful, dirty lead built around cross-modulation that adds a lot of high peak energy to the track. It uses the analog engine and runs on 2 square waveforms. Oscillator 2 coarse control is modulated by a snappy envelope 2 and a slowly moving LFO1, introducing very pleasing tonal changes in the high-end spectrum. Turning up the FM knob makes the tone even more intense and fun. The track continues building tension in a mysterious manner, offering a couple more interesting sounds as it draws to a close. The first of these is called Hard Jet, a sweeping FX sound with a rising pitch movement. It creates a lot of tension and serves as a backdrop for the 2 presets playing on top of it. The patch is built using a square waveform, volume modulation of the wavetable engine, 2 filters, including the rage diode and surgeon filters, and a function generator modulating the pitch of engine 1. Alongside it comes the bass part, using a patch called Heavy Attack. As the name suggests, it delivers a heavy tone with a sharp attack and lots of harmonic content. The patch is built with a very buzzy wavetable and a utility engine that combines a noise layer and a square oscillator. The final edge comes from added distortion and multiband compression. Finally, the melodic part of the outro is built with a patch called Century, offering the tone of a distorted gliding lead and a pattern that resembles an arpeggio. The patch uses 3 sawtooth waveforms with a heavy dose of unison bringing fatness and texture, a mix of classic high-pass and low-pass rage distortion filters, and is complemented by a combination of saturation and multiband compression. The slow LFO cutoff modulation on both filters gives the patch a subtle sense of tonal evolution. And that concludes the breakdown. One takeaway from this session would be that rave-related genres and styles rely heavily on iconic analog sounds paired with a very wide and detuned unison, making strong use of sawtooth and square waveforms. As this track demonstrates, the Rave Explorations sound bank combines aggressive leads, airy vocal stutter harmonies, and raw basses. offering plenty of tools for building intricate, detail-rich, rave-style tracks. Feel free to explore these presets and experiment with the modulation controls to find your own variations. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.